Got a bit of news before we get to the episode. Thanks to stupid cancer, more specifically the radiation part of my treatment, I am exhausted, y'all. And I'm only 2 weeks in, so it isn't going to get better for a while. So we decided that I needed one more month off. And we'll be back with new episodes on August 8th. Now, boobies. We love them. Can't get enough of them. In this episode, you're going to hear me sharing a method of tricking the algorithm into showing you boobs almost constantly. Talking about how a bad movie can be saved by having good boobs in it. And then I realized I never actually came out to my husband, so you're going to hear that too. It's titacular. Welcome to Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique.
We may be awful, but we're right.
One thing I've definitely noticed, more so in the last couple months probably than any other time, because of the way the algorithm is, I can't know if I'm the only one seeing this stuff or if it's just so utterly ubiquitous that it's on everyone's feeds, although I'm pretty sure it's the algorithm, because the algorithm knows all and feeds things to people, right?
Right.
So, because I have had to purchase bras, like new bras, because the boob size has changed.
Right.
But the boob size is still plenty big. So there was always, in the past, looking at different bras online to see how big they went, to see if they were big enough for me.
Yeah.
And what that caused, and I'm bringing it up because I really think this is useful information for people.
So cute.
If you are someone, and I know you are.
True. Oh, yeah.
If you're someone who enjoys the boobies and you want to just see boobies all the time, what you should do is convince the algorithm that you have boobies. You're going to go online and go look for, type in things like a bra size that sounds like a good thing to you. Depending on what you think you like, you'll figure it out the more you look for things. But search for a bra size 42 H.
Triple D. H. Okay.
Okay, triple D is roughly where I am right now, and that still, in my mind, seems very small. That's huge to a lot of people.
But it's not. It's not.
I know. But it feels like my boobs are helium balloons now.
Considering what they were in the past.
Hence the H. Or, in the case of what they probably were, I.
Yeah.
I mean, I never got remeasured. Sure. I just was growing. Anyway, but if you do that, the more you search for, and you don't even have to actually buy a bra, you just have to be looking for one. And I swear, things like any kind of
forever marked.
Yeah, it's like the algorithm will believe that you need to buy a bra for your giant cans, and then what's going to happen is what I'm seeing right now is that there's all these brands of bras. I think maybe because more people are working at home, or all that time we all spent in lockdown, and all those women are like, I will never wear an underwire bra again. Everybody.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Because all the women that got to be home, and then they were like, I don't want to put those clothes back on. I don't want to wear high heels. I don't want to wear that bra. Because it's horrible. It's very, very uncomfortable. And I think there's been a movement, because there's way more bras out there than I've ever seen in my life. And I personally am barraged with these online ads. And I will say that the people who are advertising bras for big titty ladies they're really good at getting attention, because it's not, like in the old days, like on TV, when they had to be like, here's a mannequin wearing a turtleneck, and then they put in a Playtex 18-hour bra over the turtleneck, because that's the best they can do. Like, they couldn't actually show a human.
Right.
Now it's like jugsy women of all sorts jumping up and down to show you how great this bra is that they're wearing. Like, they're just like naked with a bra. And I mean, I can't help but believe that so many people who I know would be like, they don't know it's out there, and it's free. It's just, it gets fed to you via the almighty algorithm. And I'm just saying, that's handy information. Now, I don't know if it's also true for other things. Like other things that people want to look at. Because bra advertisements are automatically a big booby lady thing.
Right.
But I don't know about other things. But I know for sure that pretending that you're buying a bra is worth it if you want to be served up big titty ladies on a platter.
Okay.
I mean, that's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. I'm not making it up. Yes. Absolutely. I have turned my phone towards my husband many times to go, look at this. This is what I get. This is what I get in my feed.
She does.
Yes.
She does.
Which, speaking of, if anyone is wondering, where's Pitney? Well, Pitney's off having his high-stress family reunion thing, and this week, I'm joined by my lovely husband, who has been on the show before, but this time it's a little like, oh my god, we need to do a show, so we're doing it. And Lionel, obviously not his real name. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him.
Right. Hi, everyone.
You know that the last time you were on, I got a lot of comments about your voice.
You did.
I did.
You did not tell me, but that's
okay.
Didn't?
Oh, nope. I really thought I did.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
that's fine. That's okay.
Your voice does things to people, apparently.
Oh, hon.
I'm Edward October. The sound you hear is summer thunder. The sound you hear is the tolling of church bells, gentle rain, dripping blood on the Sabbath day, on the morning after Halloween, in 18th century New England, in a lonely patch of woods called Hangman's Grove, the sanguitorium for Count Dracula. The worst storm of the year is brewing, and your house is directly in its path. This is the start of Octoberpod.
Octoberpod AM. Retro horror for bold individualists.
What is the Phantom's dark secret?
For true-ish, and classic tales of horror and the paranormal.
138 living nightmares crawl out of your phone or streaming device and into your lap.
Listen to Octoberpod AM, wherever get podcasts.
Oh, the poor wretches who were tortured and exsanguinated here.
Retro horror for bold individualists.
OctoberPodVHS.com.
Yes. One thing, speaking of big titty ladies.
Oh, okay. One
thing my darling husband is an expert on. well, is big titty ladies, but also,
Well, I don't know if I'd say an expert, but I know what I like.
connoisseur. Is that a better word?
Sure. That would work for me.
He knows more. I don't know why I can't talk today. You know more about big titty movies, and I don't just mean like of the Russ Meyer variety. I mean like as a whole genre of film, which are often excellent shitty movies. But
True.
I mean,
there are
watched
a lot of them out there.
Yeah. I mean, we've watched a lot together, but there are many, many times because you watch a lot of movies and, any given day I can walk into the room and you are watching some fine cinema.
Yeah. And all that's very true because a lot of the times I don't find anything on. I have like this collection of crappy movies on DVD that I bought as a collection. I just pop one in and watch it.
Well, and that, the fact that set of films existed is kind of fabulous.
Oh yeah.
What was that set?
She's talking about the Andy Sedaris set where he made like this guy Andy Sedaris. He made a bunch of action movies way back when in the 80s. That's basically any Playboy, Playmate, or Playboy model that wanted to have an acting career was in one of these movies or all of these movies.
Did Shannon Tweed do any of his movies?
No.
I mean, because I know she did a lot of movies. Maybe she...
Julie Strain did.
Oh, I remember
if you
her.
know if you know who Julie Strain did. Yeah,
Wasn't
she did like 2 or 3.
Though? She wasn't. Mm-hmm. She was Penthouse, though, not Playboy.
Right.
She's a big titty lady.
She was. God rest her soul. She's passed now.
Yes. As is Andy
Sedaris. He's gone too. Yeah.
Yeah. My brain gets very confused with his name because my brain can't decide if it wants to say Andy Serkis or Amy Sedaris. It makes my brain hurt.
Well, you just meld the two together, so you got Andy Sedaris.
I know, but it's hard because when I say Andy, my mouth wants to say Serkis.
But yeah. The first movie of his I saw was late 80s, rented it on VHS. We even rented the VHS machine, which you could do at the time.
You didn't have a VHS player in the late 80s?
We didn't get one until like 88. And I'm talking when we rented the machine, it was like 86.
Okay.
So,
all right. Anyway. So
somewhere around that time frame.
What was that movie?
The movie was called Malibu Express.
Oh, that sounds great.
The reason it was rented was because Sybil Danning was one of the stars. And I knew who Sybil Danning was.
Yeah. People should know who Sybil Danning is.
Oh, absolutely. I was looking forward to seeing her at Frightmare this year, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, my older brother and I, got it, rented it, watched it, and we were amazed at how many big boobed women undressed, how utterly ridiculous the plot was. And it was touting itself to be an action movie.
Right.
The main hero, the star, trying to remember what this guy's name was. Something Darby or Darby something.
I'm going to look it up.
You're going to look it up?
Yes.
This guy was a Tom Selleck wannabe.
Oh, God.
He had like curly hair and a big mustache.
Wait, remind me, Malibu what? Nights?
Express,
sorry.
He drove a fancy car.
Darby Hinton?
Darby Hinton, that's it. Thank you.
Playing Cody Abilene.
Yeah. It's very, very cheesy, very silly, but it was a fun movie to watch. I have to admit it, because I enjoy seeing the female form. There was a lot of that in that movie. And we discovered that there was a lot of Playboy playmates in it that, disrobed.
So there was lots of buxom lasses in this film?
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of silliness to go around, including Miss Standings.
Yes. Oh, looks like that Darby Hinton guy has been in a lot of, looks like shitty movies.
Yep.
Fantastic.
This was the only one I saw him in.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I never followed him. Because Desideris didn't use him anymore after that.
He was even in what looks like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh my God.
Called Christmas
Does everybody do Hallmark Christmas movies?
I think eventually, yeah. Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses in 2019.
Oh my God.
That is fabulous. But so this actor though, this director, he what is the way his movies are described? It's like bombs, boobs, and
it's bombs, bullets, and babes.
Bombs, bullets, and babes.
That's the name of the collection.
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
I don't want to make it boobs, butts, and something, but that's not what it is.
And somehow, some way, he's gotten stars such as Eric Estrada to be in his movies.
Okay.
He's gotten stars like
Was he
Pat
a star?
Morita.
Okay.
Well, no.
I mean, Eric Estrada was a star at one time.
Yes, a very popular star.
For a
He's gotten
minute.
Pat Morita.
Okay.
Pat Morita's been in him. He's gotten Ron Moss of the Young and the Restless fame.
Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. He was...
back in the day.
He also
Yeah.
played Dracula in a movie once, but I don't think that would have been his movie.
No. But yeah.
Ron Moss.
He's gotten,
I
some form of known talent in the movies, in his movies.
Sure. But remember, Steve Guttenberg in Lavalantula
I know.
and the
Yeah.
sequel to Lava to Lantula.
Yeah. When they're
Yes,
past their prime, they do
that's-
these other movies.
And then
Yes.
they go to the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah. And that's what happens.
But there's significantly less boobs on the Hallmark Channel.
But yeah, and most of the Playboy playmates or models, they, from what I understand, they didn't have much of an acting career after all of these movies. Because
Are
as
you
I said,
saying that they're not good actresses?
it's either that or the scripts are so bad that you can't help but deliver a line badly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Okay.
Now let me ask this. So when you watch, say, an Andy Sedaris movie, you're guaranteed boobs. I mean, it's
Yes.
not
Yes.
because
You're guaranteed lots of them.
lots of boobs. Okay, that's
Lots of
good.
boobs.
Because there's been times, especially when I'm watching things with Pitney, like although sometimes, I mean, Pitney and I, we've talked about the movie Pirates before, which was there's a softcore version and a hardcore version.
Right.
But even
I remember.
with that, we only wanted to watch the acting. We forwarded through because even in the softcore version, it's like, oh my God, how long is this scene?
Yeah.
With them pretending to do stuff.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I've watched, I mean who doesn't want to watch a movie that has boobs in it? But what I was going to say is that there's nothing more disappointing than a movie that
Where you
were
expect
so
it and don't
where
get
you-
it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I may get this movie title wrong, but the example I always think of is Nymphoid Barbarians in Dinosaur Hell.
I believe that is accurate.
Which...
It was a trauma movie, too, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
But not a single tit in that entire movie. Yeah. Nymphoid Barbarians. I mean...
And the actresses really weren't that much to look at to begin with, in all honesty.
Everything about that movie was disappointing. Because a bad movie can become worth watching because there's boobs in it. Well, boobs that are worth looking at.
Well, there's always for shitty movies in general. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily have to have boobs or whatever for me to like it. Like, for an example, I think that Deep Blue Sea is a really, really shitty movie. Okay, dialogue's bad, acting is bad.
Is that one of the giant shark movies?
That's the movie with the Sam Jackson scene.
Oh,
where he gets eaten.
The one of the greatest scenes ever in a film.
Ever made. I love watching this movie, and every time it's on TV or whatever, and I haven't come to that infamous scene, I got to watch it till I see the infamous scene. Then I can change the channel.
Right. You don't have to watch the rest of the movie. It's only good for that scene. But
it doesn't have any boobs or anything like that. It's just a shitty movie.
It also doesn't promise boobs.
No.
It's like, if you were watching, a lot of, especially in the days of VHS, covers on VHS movies, that was a whole industry.
Oh, yeah. They would rip you off. Yeah.
Of creating a cover for a VHS tape in the video rental thing where you don't know shit about this movie, but someone has painted a picture.
Are you talking about Nude for Satan? Because I thought that was a ripoff, too.
There were lots of tits in that.
Yeah, but it's kind of disappointing still.
Well, I mean, it's a low-budget Italian horror from the 70s that's called Nude for Satan. Or Nuda per Satana.
Is incomprehensible. It is an incomprehensible movie.
As a lot of those films are. But when you create a boob-centric, I mean, it's hard to call it the poster because these movies wouldn't have had posters because these movies were nothing. And so all it is a VHS box and someone created a very eye-catching, shall we say, image to go on the front, which tricks people into renting the movie. And then you watch it and it's like not even close. Like sometimes there's barely a woman in the movie.
Oh, I know. And those really kind of piss me off.
Or there's women in the movie, but they are not the ones that the cover indicated, that none of them look anything like the ones on the front of the box. And I'll say the men don't look like that either.
What one of the movies that really kind of disappointed me, because I was kind of excited to see it, because of who was in it. It was Shannon Tweed was a star. Fucking Bill Maher was in it too.
Oh, I know this movie.
Adrienne Barbeau was in it.
Yes.
It's called Amazon Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Yes. I watched that too, and I was disappointed.
And I was expecting, some boobs and the like, and silly action sequences and all that kind of stuff. The silly action sequences were kind of lackluster, and not a boob to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not.
It was sad.
It's generally a bad thing if you put Shannon Tweed in your movie and she keeps her clothes on.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, sorry Shannon, I think you're fabulous, but you play a role.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
But, and that's okay if she's wanting to stretch or whatever, but that's not the movie.
But she wasn't stretching in that movie. That movie is not a stretch.
No,
if she wants to be in a real movie, yeah, that's different. No one's
It's like
watching that movie
have
to
your
look
effing
for the new Starlet.
husband, go fund one and you can star in that vehicle,
Honey, if he funded a movie, it would be absolute shit.
Well, that's true too.
Because he has
Yeah.
really strange ideas.
Oh, I know.
Of what the world is looking for. She's married to Gene Simmons, for people who don't know who Shannon Tweed is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The year of personal power.
Attention, bitches and witches.
Please take your places in the circle.
Gather son and gather daughter.
Gather earth, air, fire, water.
Raise up energy en masse so we can kick some MAGA ass.
In this meeting of our coven, we will be exploring the summer solstice, which took place on June 20th. This marks the longest day and shortest night of the year, as well as the official beginning of summer, although we all know that summer started a long time ago, unfortunately. Anyway, it marks the zenith of the sun's power, as well as the beginning of its waning and the preparation of harvest and the cooler, less fertile times to come. This being said, it is a time of great celebration as the leaner, cooler times are still months off. In pagan traditions, this is a time of gatherings, joy, and just general fun. Think barbecues with family and friends, outdoor music festivals in the park, joyous outings at the river where the concerns of the day are nothing but swimming, tubing, and sharing time together with no worries. These, believe it or not, are all celebrations of the solstice and an honoring of the power of the sun. In olden times, solstice celebrations would involve singing, dancing, and the sharing of stories, as well as the sharing of whatever was the most bountiful of the spring harvest. See the connection? Different times, but the core is the same, sharing and the gratefulness for abundance. Now let me say that I hate the word abundance, as it is so commonly used nowadays in what I call housewife new aginess. I am not referring to try to manifest material wealth, but rather the abundance of what we have, and especially in our communities. This is the essence of celebrating the joys of the sun and all the bounty it naturally provides. Are you looking to be a little esoteric to celebrate this? Some common pagan ritual practices are weaving and wearing flower garlands, jumping over a bonfire for good luck. Proceed with caution, although I have done this many times. Decorate a little altar space with images of the sun and spend some time meditating on what this year has given you. Share these activities with friends and family and have fun. A friend shared a powerful thing with me last week, and I instantly associated it in my mind with the solstice. She has been very involved in all the protests that have been happening since the current regime has taken power. Not just the big ones, but the weekly smaller ones at Tesla dealerships, courthouses, campus centers. The thing that she is so moved by is the sense of community and the pleasure of being with like-minded folks and building bonds with others that she sees weeks after week. What a wonderful building and appreciation of community. And when pondering community, do not forget to include yourself. You are much a part of your abundance as anyone else. Let's all celebrate our chosen communities and celebrate ourselves as we go forward with this summer season by affirming, our power is our abundant joy. Yell it out loud and feel it. Our power is our abundant joy. Once again, for good measure, our power is our abundant joy. Say this to yourself as you enjoy your summer activities. And happy season.
Get inspired. The word abundance makes a lot of us uncomfortable. It feels like tacky capitalism, like wanting all the things, and believing the more we have, the happier we'll be. It fills my head with things like those videos where someone shows you the 50 things they bought at a thrift store that they don't even want, but they intend to resell for a fucking mint. Meanwhile, broke folks who would love to pick up something pretty for $1 lose out because of someone with an Etsy shop. Ever heard of the prosperity gospel? That shit that TV pastors spew that convinces people that the bigger the bank account, the closer to God. Why do you think so many people assume that because someone is wealthy, that means they're a good person? When really, my God, how do you get that much money without screwing people over? And so many of us, especially the people I assume are listening to me right now, if we suddenly had $1 million, our first thought would be, who can I help with this? And don't get me started on the new agey law of attraction thing, where you bring everything you need to you like a magnet by raising your vibration, whatever that means. All that is just distraction from the abundance that actually matters. Having enough. Who needs more than enough of anything, really? If you have enough food, friends, fun, other things starting with F, why do you think you would need more? It's that dumb capitalistic nonsense that causes us to focus on things other people have that we don't. Thinking that there's a scarcity out there, so we try to stock up on whatever it is we think we need when really we're doing just fine. You don't need me to tell you which one is a healthier place to put your focus. Take action. As we wrap up Pride Month and head into summer, especially after that glorious No King's Day success that has done a lot to show the world we will not go gentle into that good night. We will rage! Not just against the dying of the light, but our rage will keep those flames ablaze. Every one of us is a candle in the dark, and together our light scatters those MAGA cockroaches and illuminates just how weak and pathetic this regime is. Spend a little time this week shining light on the people in your community who are kicking ass. Brighten someone's day by letting them know you appreciate what they're doing and offer your support. Celebrate how fucking right we are by laughing in the face of fascism. The best way to hurt a fascist pig is to not respect them. Sing and dance and throw glitter and fart in their general direction. We have earned ourselves a party. And tomorrow, we will dive back into the trenches. Touch grass. Okay, this week, we are gonna have fun. Summer has begun, and if you live where I live and hate heat as much as I do, it takes a really good reason to do more than just look out the window. And, full disclosure, I may just do this out the window some days because I need to take my cancer treatment as seriously as possible, right? So, first I want to give credit to a shop I found on Etsy called Tree Fort Toys that makes really lovely and simple wooden toys and games for kids. Like this dice game for nature scavenger hunts, which I will absolutely link on the blog in case you want to check them out. The idea they inspired in me is that we could each make a totally customizable scavenger hunt for ourselves where we do a little bit every day. And maybe instead of dice, you could Put slips of paper into a bowl and choose one or however many you like before taking a walk. If you've got kids, this could be an awesome thing for them to help you with. And because you're making this for yourself, you can customize it to your area. Like a lot of you could find a pine needle, but I doubt I could where I am. And I know I am far more likely than most of you to find an acorn because my entire front yard is covered in them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut up paper into pieces like a couple inches across and put a little something on it, such as nest, and then I'll draw a little doodle of a bird's nest. Fold it up, go on to the next one. Feather, spider web, crawling bug, flying bug, big leaf, berries, tree stump, and hell, why not add stuff like different kinds of poop? Especially if you're doing this with kids, they will love that. Honestly, some of the most fun I've ever had was seeing some kind of weird poop in my yard and trying to figure out who pooped it. My most exciting poop to learn about? Toad poop. For real. Anyway, then I will gather up all my little folded papers, put them into something special, like a pretty old gift bag or a wide-mouthed jar with stickers all over it, and use it every day to see what I spot out there. I spy, with my little eye, some tracks telling me there was a deer here last night.
Reflections and journaling. For this meeting's journaling prompt, we are going to explore the tarot card of the sun. I initially chose this card because it directly corresponds with the summer solstice, with the sun being at its highest power. But in light of recent events, both good and bad, I have also decided to bring in the important idea of this card in its reversed aspect. But fear not, even reversed, this card is still one of hope. So let's briefly dive in. It is the single most positive card in the entire deck. This card always depicts a vibrant full sun, and nearly always depicts human figures below. The figures may be dancing, laughing, often riding a horse, or even a unicorn with a look of pure joy. What a great image to focus on, with so many things in our real world looking bleak. The message of this card is that it's time of joy, celebration of being alive, achievement, basically anything happy that you can think of or feel. If focusing on our MAGA foes, as is the purpose of our virtual coven, brings you down, be able to put that aside and see the joys in your personal lives and the joys of how big our movement is growing. Record-setting protests, and they are just getting bigger. In its reversed aspect in a reading, this card will overshadow anything negative with hope. It may indicate a delay of success after obstacles, or only a partial success for now. But it is always indicative of a future outcome that is in tune with your desires. It may look different than what was originally envisioned, but it will be great. Also, perhaps the need for more preparation. How does this all resonate with you? Take some time to ponder and write. What have you achieved? Have you gone to protests, written letters, spread the word of the moment against the Trump regime? Celebrate that and find hope. The sun in this time energizes and almost forces you to be joyful in your life and with what has been achieved. Write about the happiness you find in your day-to-day and spend some time outside in tune with this energy. Journal it all to read it later to get through darker days. Happy journaling, blessed be, and as always, feel free to email us with your ideas and maybe with some stuff you came up with in your journaling.
But yeah, I enjoy those movies. Absolutely. I'm a guy.
You're a guy who loves boobs.
Mm-hmm.
You even, you love boobs so much that if you see a woman who has a really good butt and she doesn't have boobs, you get very sad.
Yeah, but I'll still admire the butt too. So
Yes, I know.
Sure.
But you have been known to say that to describe a woman as a waste of a good butt.
When have I said that?
You definitely said it about Rachel Ray back in the day when she wasn't really well known.
Yeah,
and she did like one of those magazines like FHM, or it probably wasn't Maxim. Back in the days when those dude magazines became very mainstream, and
right,
and all the actresses were, posing in them. But and Rachel Ray somehow was in there, baking a pie in a bikini top or something.
Yeah, she really doesn't have, that much up there. Nothing against Rachel, but
no, I mean, if you're gonna have a problem with Rachel, there's other reasons to have a problem with her. Did you ever think it was strange that I was always so eager to watch those types of movies? Or am I just the coolest? Am I just the best wife anyone could ever have?
Well, I think that. Okay. But as far as it being strange, the things I found that it being strange about you and us are the things that I think are extraordinarily uncommon. We have a lot of similarities in our
that has
backgrounds.
nothing to do with boobs. I'm not.
I know,
I'm talking about.
But as far as your movie taste, no, I didn't find that strange at all.
You didn't think it was weird that a chick wanted to
watch big boob movies or shitty movies?
Would be really upset if we watched a movies and there wasn't a boob in it?
Well, upset, I don't think I've ever seen you upset of not having a boob in a movie, but
Nymphoid Barbarians and Dinosaur Hell, I was very...
that was that was just a terrible...
It was, but a bad movie with some
grace.
Boobs in it, boobs will
have
save
helped,
a
but
movie.
it would not have saved it. I'm sorry, sweetie, it would not.
Yeah, depends on the boobs, I think.
Maybe so.
You gotta give, you gotta have enough boobs to give a movie at least 1 star,
Yeah. That one's a big negative star.
It's horrible. Yeah, don't even try.
Yeah. And a lot of trauma movies are that way.
Yeah. I offhand, I don't know. It may have been trauma, but, and maybe that's a trauma thing where trauma, they don't necessarily go in the always going to be a boob vein. Yeah. That's not their thing.
Yeah.
Their thing is humor that's not funny.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Yes.
Although we do have Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
That's trauma.
Which is hilarious. That's trauma.
See, that's the one that's a musical, right?
Yes.
See, I haven't.
It's hilarious.
And I haven't seen it. We have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. We have the Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
We don't have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I thought we did.
No.
Anyway, I haven't seen either of them. I don't know why. It just.
But Jesus
hasn't
Christ
happened.
Vampire Hunter we have.
Okay, maybe we'll watch it tonight.
Sure. Jesus Christ actually looks like Pitney, so. I think he does.
As he should.
Well.
Oh my God. So you never thought it was unusual at all that I liked?
Because what's not to like about boobs?
I mean, that's kind of what I think. Yeah. And I used to have, for a long time, I had a theory that I guess at some point when I was younger, I was just trying to figure out, like, why am I drawn to this sort of thing? But my theory was that because culturally, you know, everything is so sexualized, and usually things being sexualized means women. And so whether it's advertisements or, you know, you gotta put the babe on the poster, you gotta put the, you know. And so I had a theory that to some extent everyone was like programmed to be drawn to big titty ladies. The thing was, though, and I was like sure that was true, and I was sure that was the explanation for what was it. I thought it explained what was happening, but I realized many years later, and actually it was within the last 5-6 years, I'll say, maybe. I started thinking about that again, and I realized that I really had myself convinced of that, but at no point did I ever ask anybody. Like, the social scientist in me, the anthropology major, sociology minor person in me who believes, you know, doing your research actually means doing research, that I believed this thing so fully without ever asking anyone that I knew. Do you think this is true, but are you drawn to boobs? Asking, say, whether it's
personally, yes, I am. However,
I'm not asking you that right now. I'm talking about people who are not oriented towards women.
I know guys. I've known guys that don't.
That aren't interested in boobs.
Yeah.
But those guys are interested in women.
Yes.
Well, see, I'm talking about people who don't believe themselves to be oriented towards women, but who have this, like, subset of, but I like big titty lady movies.
I've never met anyone like that.
You're married to one like that.
Well.
But this is my point. It's like, it's kind of inconsequential, but I don't think we ever had this conversation. I'm realizing that we've never talked about this, because I kind of realized that maybe, or probably not maybe, that even though it's a very limited, very specific thing, that maybe on the spectrum, on the sexuality spectrum, I might be ever so slightly bisexual.
Okay.
Like, obviously men, obviously dudes, but also to a point. You know, I don't do anything, and never have, and never really felt a strong urge to, but, you know, there's degrees of everything.
So are you saying that you're like, if you're ever so slightly bisexual,
I think
you're possibly curious bisexual, or you just admired the woman form as well? I think
there's a just skating over that line just a little bit.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, obviously, I mean, even during my slutty years, I never did anything. So, you know, when I had women hitting on me in bars, because I was hanging out in bars a lot.
In gay bars, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'd go to the lesbian country bar and get a drink and talk to, you know, And
Good
back
way to
when
get a free drink. Absolutely. Sure.
And back when I dressed to go to the club and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, everything was hanging out. But that was before you came along, dear.
Yeah, I know.
You still would appreciate the outfits, but
Sure.
that wasn't how I dressed when we went out.
Probably still would.
I mean, if I could go back and get that body
Wow.
back, maybe my mid-20s appearance. But no, but I tend to think of myself, I do on occasion refer to, you know, if someone asks, or I might refer to myself as bisexual, even though it's not, it's almost like it doesn't matter, but it's still there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just seemed like a thing to to mention.
Now, I, on the other hand, do not feel the same way concerning men. I don't look at a guy saying, oh man, he's really good looking, or he's got a nice butt, or whatever. I'll never say that.
No, you don't.
Because it just
And
doesn't
you-
do it for me.
No. And you don't even notice when a guy is, like, flirting with you really hard.
Yeah, because it never enters my mind.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would be right there, and some guy would be hitting on him. And, yeah. I mean, there were, back in the days, like, we would go to a party over at Pitney's, and I would hear later that there were all these people there that were, like, all these guys that were asking around, like, who's that guy? Who brought that guy? About you.
Okay.
They were all.
It's like
wanted to know.
I'm flattered, but it's never going to happen.
I know,
So
and it's not going to happen with me either. I'm just saying.
that okay.
Yeah, just one more little aspect to me, and it is a little weird that we're having this conversation right now. But,
Yes, it is. But you're the one that steered us here.
I kind of did, didn't I?
No, you didn't kinda. You downright did it. But that's okay.
Well, what else are we going to talk about? Why wouldn't we talk about boobs?
Sure.
It's a thing both of us enjoy.
Mhm. It's like I wound up watching the TV show Vegas for its entire run and even bought the DVDs because of boobs. Even though you don't see any boobs.
I was going to say, was that Connie Selica?
No.
No. What show
That
was she
was
on?
the lovely Phyllis Davis, who was always my favorite. And,
I'm gonna look her up
Judy
since
Landers. She's passed.
That doesn't change the fact that I'm looking her up. What was her name again?
Phyllis Davis.
Phyllis. You don't see Phyllis's anymore.
No, you don't.
The lovely Phyllis Davis. Oh, her! Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
The picture.
Sweet Sugar. We have Sweet Sugar, her famous, infamous movie.
Good night, nurse. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, this picture, it's like a gauzy kind of Princess Leia outfit, only it's extremely thin and it's backlit. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy cow.
Yep. She was great in it.
But she was always fully clothed because it was
Oh, yeah.
like,
It was TV.
you know, it was TV.
Yeah.
In the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
What show was Connie Selica on? Why am I...
She was in Buck Rogers.
That was Aaron Gray, dude.
Oh, no, that was Aaron Gray. She was in...
I'm looking her up. It's going to drive me crazy. Connie
crap.
Selica.
What was her TV show? I can't remember.
I don't even know how to spell her last
I
name.
don't think
I'm
I was
guessing.
ever attracted to her. She was kind of a
Oh, right.
skinny.
She was in Hotel.
I never watched Hotel.
For me, it was just like Vegas. She also
Okay.
was in Greatest American Hero.
That's why I remember her.
Yeah.
Greatest American Hero was a fun show.
Oh my lord, and she's also in a Christmas movie with Randy Travis and Rue McClanahan.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well,
Connie Selica.
At least she's working. You know.
And interestingly, she wasn't on Buck Rogers, but she was married to Gil Gerard.
Gerard. Yeah.
And she was also married to John Tesh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised she wasn't one that you liked, because she has a little bit of a Kate Jackson vibe, and you love Kate Jackson.
She kind of did. But I don't think I was really attracted to her, really. Because she was kind of skinny. It's the same way with Erin Gray and Buck Rogers, okay?
Too skinny?
Yeah.
You need him to be a little more meaty?
Curvier. Yeah. You know, I'm a guy. I can't help it.
I know.
Okay.
Do you remember one of my favorite memories of you was you were.
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
This was when we it may have been when we were first married. I'm having a hard time remembering what year it was, but I know what house we lived. I know where we lived.
Oh,
it was pre-Spike. It was, in the first place. So, you were back in the back bedroom messing around on the computer or whatever, and I was watching TV, and I came upon a cooking show, and I'll say who.
Oh, you're talking about Nigella?
Yes, it was like in the early days of when they started showing Nigella Lawson's stuff here, and as soon as I saw her,
she's a babe.
Well, yeah. I couldn't get you to get off the fucking computer. I was like, honey, you need to come in here. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know if I was ever going to see her again. And I was like, honey, you got to come in here. You have to see something. And you're like, I'm busy. And then eventually I managed to get you to just get up and walk in here. Just come in here. And you walked in, you walked right up to the TV. And after a few seconds of silence, you said, she's hot. And I said, I know!
Oh, honey. I think that was before
why do you
we
think
were
I've been
married.
trying to get you to come in here?
I think that was before we were married.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. But we've been...
and another one of those moments where a guy goes, yeah, she's a good one to marry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I used to email you pictures of Selma Hayek.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I'm a keeper.
Of course you are. She's also very silly, people.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, please take a moment to rate and review us wherever you listen.
If you send us a screenshot of your review, we'll send you a Bitchin' Boutique sticker. Everyone loves stickers!
Please subscribe or add us to your favorites wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribers get new episodes first and are also more attractive.
Drop us a line anytime at pitneyandamelia@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Felionel is here.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'll only call you that just because that's what we call you. Because we have to call you something.
Right.
Okay.